A New York-based matchmaker struggles to navigate the emotional connections of love from the materialistic side in both her professional and working life, as she struggles to choose between two guys, one that can provide her with all the materialistic needs that she wants, and a broke man that she feels very strongly for. Film fans YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. I am Josh, your Movie Apprentice, and today I am looking at Materialists, written and directed by Celine Song, in her sophomore effort after The Incredible Past Lives, which is a movie that I really enjoyed. This stars Dakota Johnson, Pedro Pascal, and Chris Evans, and this is a film that I went into with middling expectations, as I am clearly not the targeted demographic for this. I find myself being able to enjoy most movies if they're executed really well. With this being Celine Song again, I was looking forward to see how she would approach the angle of materialistic relationships and how superficial relationships have become in the modern age. Now, before I get into my full thoughts, if you'd like to see on the channel, click the like button, subscribe for more reviews that's coming all the time. But jumping into Materialists, unfortunately, I have to say that for me, this was a big disappointment. This is a film that has a lot of great ideas. It struggles to execute them perfectly. I've come to realize that one big issue I usually have with films is that they are inconsistent in their tone. This is advertised as a romantic comedy, and whilst there are definitely comedy moments in this, there are times where the comedy overshadows what should be a more serious bit, and there is a bit of tonal whiplash as we go through the film. For example, there's a very heartfelt moment between Dakota Johnson and Pedro Pascal in the final half of the movie. It's a very sweet moment, a very tender moment, has more chemistry than I think I'd seen from these two throughout the rest of the film. They punctuate the end of that scene with a bit of visual comedy, which is almost devaluing everything that's happened in that conversation before of the insecurities that one character is feeling. And then we cut to a wide shot that is basically saying, laugh at this person. And that for me was something that I really didn't enjoy. And this one does that a number of times in the movie. Quite frankly, I felt this film could have been executed better had we not even had the romance. Like, I know the big marketing aspect of this is the romantic aspect and her having to choose between Pedro and Chris Evans. My favorite elements of this movie is when she is having to navigate her job as a matchmaker, meeting all these individuals that have these very high bar expectations. We see two montages, one of her interviewing a bunch of guys and one interviewing a bunch of women, and that's all stuff you'd expect. From the guy's perspective, it's, I want a mature woman. That means late 20s. I want her to be very attractive, not fat, not old. From the woman's side, must be tall, must make a salary over $300,000 a year, things like that. When we are cutting through this in montages, that is something that I really enjoyed about this movie. I could see why she's not very attached to the idea of relationships, because of just how desensitized that people are when it comes to their emotional feelings versus the materialistic nature of modern dating. I thought it was a great angle the film has, but we don't spend enough time in it. There's a lot of cutting back and forth between her doing her job and her having to juggle this romance. And when we look at the romances, when I knew this film was a bit in trouble was when we had one of the weirdest character introductions ever. Pedro says to Dakota, "What would you like to drink?" And she says, "Beer and the Coke." And in a second, Chris Evans is there putting it on a table. And I'm thinking, how long has he been stood there? Did he see her across the room and decide, yeah, I'm going to bring it? Was he building up to this bit? It's that janky character introduction that I feel like is mostly suave and smooth. Yet for me, it felt very jarring how we're introduced. And when we establish their past relationship, I don't feel like the film devotes enough time to either the relationships nor her job. There was a big key plot point when it comes to her job that happens in the movie. It just doesn't feel like it gels with the rest of the movie. This is a film that is making light-hearted comedy at the superficial nature of materialistic relationships, and then it cuts to a very dark moment, and it feels like that aspect is resolved almost too easily. This is a film that, for me, drags its heels and refuses to end. There is a last act bit of drama that comes and goes just like that. Just in terms of structure and pacing, I just didn't feel like it worked at balancing these plot threads. Had it chose to exclusively focus, if it came from the perspective of she was going to this matchmaker and was getting matched with Pedro by this matchmaker, but she still has to be in for this guy that was great for her but couldn't provide for her materialistically, that would have worked. If the whole film was just focusing as her as the matchmaker, that would have worked. But because it's trying to both this love triangle and make this commentary on materialistic relationships, it doesn't really work for me. These two plot threads are wrestling for screen time constantly, and that is a shame because I like a lot of the ideas in this movie. I know there's going to be people in the comments already that are saying, why do you hate this movie so much? I genuinely do think there's a lot of potential in this movie. Like with Past Lives, a lot of what was good in that, some of the unsaid stuff, the whole way she manages to avoid making the third guy the jealous boyfriend, she deliberately avoids that stereotype. I thought the characters in that were very naturalistic in how they spoke. In this, there is a scene that is supposed to lead into a seduction scene that, for me, it feels very wooden, de-charismatized Pedro Pascal, who's a very charismatic actor. I just felt the writing let us down a bit as well. It's weird how much I enjoyed Past Lives, how much I was disappointed by Materialists. It feels like there was a lot of philosophical and superficial talking in this, and not enough emotional talking. So when we get to those emotional moments, they don't quite land for me. This is a film that has all potential in the world if it just chose to stick to one lane rather than doing both. Why are we having these comedic moments and then going to a very serious subject that could have been a great plot thread in itself, basically forgotten about, and then brought back right at the end to help tie up the love triangle end? And that for me just doesn't work. This is a film that for me, there's and therefore, and there's and then. Like there's nothing directly informing the next scene. There is a lot of just this happens, then this happens, then this happens. And the film just drags on for as long as it possibly can, where I just felt the film drag for an extended amount of time. I like the ideas behind this movie. I like the genuineness of this movie. I liked what Celine was going for in writing and directing this movie. But for me, I don't feel like there's enough to address the modern world of modern dating and how materialistic we look into our partners. There's just some elements of how it is written, how it is structured, and how the plots blend together that just don't work for me. And this is a film that I really wanted to enjoy. It is one of those films that I wish I could just say this film was straight up bad, because for me, when a film is disappointing, doesn't fully realize its premise and what it's trying to, the story it's trying to tell, that I always find more disappointing in those films that I just think are outright bad. So for me, The Materialist is one of my biggest disappointments of this year, though it has been getting responses from across the spectrum. I've known people that have hated it, people that have loved it, and people that are very mixed on it. So let me know down in the comments what you thought of Materialist. What did you enjoy about it? Do you feel like there is anything that I've missed in this movie? Because it's quite possible that I did. For me, I'm going to have to say that Materialist is a cold cup of tea. So Materialist, have you seen it? If you have, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Again, you like what you're seeing on the channel, click the like button, subscribe for more video reviews that's coming all the time. Coming up on the channel, going to be reviewing Together and The Life of Chuck, and a very late review of Weapons. Got a load coming up, sorry about the delay in getting videos out. But until next time, everybody, I am Josh, I have been Movie Apprentice, and I'll see you all in the next video.